This week on Gymwright Live, we interview Michael Belley of CrossFit FNA to learn how they took his small homegrown garage gym to a thriving facility in just a matter of months. All right, so a little bit of business before we get started here today. First and foremost, if you have been thinking about making a change in your gym business, whether that's breaking through a plateau or even just getting out of struggle mode, then today is a pretty important day for you. Today is the last day to register for a discovery session to take advantage of our sales and marketing focused business coaching program, the Foundations program, before our prices go up. Now, this day has been a long time coming because frankly, we've kind of been giving it away up to this point. So if you want it for 20% less, then it will be very soon, as in for anyone who doesn't at least register for a discovery call by end of day today, March 15th, 2019, this is your chance. So now if you're not familiar with what the program is, well, I'll tell you about it really quick. It is an 8-week intensive one-on-one business coaching program where we completely audit and rebuild your entire sales and marketing engine of your business, plus several other key aspects like pricing, retention, etc., all to help you take your gym to the next level. Michael, our guest, went through it, and so have about 75 other now far more successful gym owners in the last 6 months. So you probably should too. So if you're interested, head on over to gymwright.com/foundations-program to register now. Now, if you're watching this show on Facebook right now and you do not see the little red light in the top corner of the screen, then you are watching the replay. So the first thing I want you to do is type the word join in the comments below so you can get access to the network, which is our free private Facebook group made up of over 1,700 motivated gym owners, where you will find tons of great conversations, interviews, and step-by-step how-tos of some of the most effective strategies out there for gym owners today. By the way, this will also get you our free 2019 Gym Sales and Marketing Planner, which, if you like awesome growth tools, you should probably take advantage of. Plus, this will set you up for a quick reminder whenever we go live for this show so you never miss an episode. Again, just type the word join now so you can get access to all this great stuff and so you can start taking your gym owner game to the next level right now. All right, let's get this party started. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Gymwright Live. I am your host, Marcus Gurzy, and this week we welcome to the show special guest and featured gym owner, Michael Belley of CrossFit FNA. Michael, pleasure to have you on today. Welcome to the show.
Hey Marcus, how's it going, buddy?
It is going fantastically well. It's Friday. I've got you on here and I've been looking forward to this all week. So ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, same.
Very good. So Michael, before we get into your journey with CrossFit FNA and really what you've accomplished just over the course of this last year, tell us a little bit about yourself and really why and how did you even get into the gym business?
Yeah, so I've been a paramedic for about 13 years, and I was kind of looking for a way to get out of the industry a little bit. It was getting a little bit hard on my mental health and physical health. So the CrossFit gym that I was going to was shutting down, unfortunately, and so we kind of, Nicole and I kind of saw it as an opportunity to start up our own business, and I went out and got my CrossFit Level 1, and it kind of really opened up my eyes as to CrossFit and how it should be done, and we kind of decided to start up shop.
Now, obviously, people who don't know you don't know Nicole, your lovely wife, your better half. She's not with us on the show here today because she's out with the kiddos, I think, right? But you and your wife started this out of your garage, and right, some humble beginnings. Tell us a little bit about the business at that point, right? This, what was it like at that time?
Yeah, it was a tough start. Like, at first we were like, yeah, it shouldn't be a big deal. We'll just go rent out a space, and we have 0 members, and it shouldn't be a problem. And when we started looking around, and we soon realized how difficult it was to get started financially and to even find a space that was suitable. And we were very fortunate enough to have a really big garage, and so we took full advantage of it, and we kind of started shop there, and we started off pretty small, and we continued that for about a year with some pretty minor growth. And then, we just continued to grind, and then we came upon another opportunity and kind of took off from there.
Yeah, so that was right about when you guys reached out. This was a little bit earlier last year. And you guys were kind of at a place where you'd been doing what you've been doing for, like you said, about a year, I think, at that point. And you guys were really eager to kind of break through and take it to the next level, particularly to take it out of the garage and into that facility, right? And you guys are located in Edmonton, Canada, and you guys had a unique opportunity to kind of like sublet some space in another facility. And basically you wanted to make sure that you got it right. And that's when our conversations began. Now, when you guys were first, when all that was happening, what was your biggest challenge with CrossFit FNA before we started working together?
I think the big thing for us is that, we wanted to make sure that everything stayed within our core values, and we really like to pay attention to building the people first. We know that the ability and we know that the strategy and stuff that comes hand in hand, but we really wanted to have that people aspect to it. And we were afraid that once we saw some substantial growth of 80 or 90 or 100 members, is like, how do we stay on top of those people, and how do we keep nurturing them and keep dripping them information about movements or tips or nutrition. And it was already hard with 15 or 20 members when we were in the garage, and that was like super personable because I was out of our house. Like, we had people coming into our home to use our washroom, you know what I mean? And so we were like, what happens when we move to that big stage and we have 100 members, and how do we remember people's names and send them birthday cards? And I remember I had a buddy that, he sent me this podcast from Brute Strength, and you were the guest on it.
Oh, yeah.
And that was back, and I wrote it down, February 2018. So my buddy sends me this podcast. He says, you got to listen to it. It talks about business, and it talks about this software called Infusionsoft. And I'm like, okay, sure. Like, pretty naive. I'm like, sure, I'll listen to it. It was from a good friend of mine, and so I was like, yeah, it's probably credible, right? And I remember listening to it, and I remember you talking about Infusionsoft and how, how it just keeps dripping that information to people, and how that automated system and the website design. And I was like, that's what we need. Like, we need that, because once we get to 100 or 150 or 200 members, like, how are we going to remember to send people emails? And so I was talking to Nicole about it, and I was like, hey, we should reach out to Marcus. We should do this. And you had just started your foundations program at that time. Is that right? It was still fairly new, right?
Yeah, you actually were in the very first wave. That was actually before we announced it.
How many have you done since then?
Like 75.
That's insane. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's been nuts. The last year has been pretty crazy for us in that regard, because we started, you were in the first, I want to say maybe 5 people that I took through that program. I had just written the program, or it was a rewrite of a lot of different independent modules that I had, we'd been teaching for quite some time, but we put it into a new format with the goal being, let's make as much impact as we possibly can in a short amount of time. And when you guys came on board, you reached out for the platform, which was our website and automation platform, the platform. And that was actually what you had reached out for. And then through that, I actually offered you guys this program, because I was kind of informally starting to take people on with that. And you guys jumped on board. So you guys went through the very original iteration of it. And even still, the impact, I think, was great. So at that point, we obviously started, we built you a brand new site, all the automation campaigns, all that good stuff. And that, I think, obviously stands on its own as far as like the impact and all that stuff that made. But what I want to focus on really was the evolution we made with you guys, with your business strategy, and really kind of revamping the business model, and from like a sales, marketing, onboarding, retention, pricing standpoint, to help you guys really be set up for success as you guys transition into this much, much bigger space in this formal facility.
Right.
So at that time, what would you say, even now still, I guess, what would you say is your biggest differentiator as a gym owner? What do you guys do uniquely well?
I think that we kind of flipped the formula around of making sure that, we focus on mechanics, consistency, intensity. And I know that sounds really cliche, but I think unfortunately a lot of gyms focus on the intensity part first, and because it's sexy and it sells and it gets people in through your door. But for us, we don't focus on retention. We do focus on retention, but we focus on churn. We don't focus on how many people every month are we keeping. We want to make sure, like, are people staying at 3, 6, 9, 12? Like, how long are people staying with us? And I think that comes down to doing the common uncommonly well. And I think that's what we focus on, is we want to make sure that people are moving well, and then we want to make sure that they're consistently moving well. And then from there, we can layer in the intensity. And I think in the long run, that keeps people around more. And I think that's really what differentiates us from other CrossFit gyms. I mean, Edmonton has about 1 million people. It's a big city. There's a ton of CrossFit gyms here. But I think we really stand out because we build the character first. We know people have the ability to do things, but we have to unlock that ability. And so we build their character by having them come in, and we tell them about our proven process, and we tell them what it takes to get where they need to get. And then we kind of started an elements program, which you and I haven't talked about yet. But I kind of started doing an elements program where I can get people in the door and get them through different tracks. Are you doing performance, fitness, open workouts? Like, what are we doing? And then, so for us, it's just, mechanics, consistency, intensity. I know that's cliche, but that's how we do it.
Well, I think another way of saying that, that would make it, I think, more impactful for someone listening, other than like you saying it sounds cliche, because everyone, I think, says that sort of thing, like, oh, it's the coaching. But what you guys did is you guys put the product first, and you put the connection with the person as we made that your process, right? So that when people come in, we try to make it as personable as possible, while at the same time, in your case, because we also needed to grow rapidly to make up for this big jump now in going from a facility out of your garage to this like much bigger facility. We also needed to grow rapidly, right, to cover expenses and all that. So we had to find the sweet spot in how we did that. And you guys, for me as a coach, and anyone listening who's a coach, whether you're talking about business or movement, it's such a joy when you get someone who's willing and eager to do the work and asks good questions, and because it just sets us up for way more success for you. Right? The whole goal of any of these kinds of programs should be to help you get where you're trying to go, right? And that was the commitment we made in the very beginning, was, hey, none of this stuff is boilerplate. None of this is a template that I'm just going to plug you into. This is going to be totally personalized for you and Nicole and your definition of success, so we can help you guys actually get there. And you guys implemented like crazy. Everything that we did, you guys took it, you ran with it, you made it yours. And I think that was a big part of what helped you guys grow as quickly as you did.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think, you said you guys decided to put the people first. And I remember when we first reached out to you, you were like, hey, like, we're used to dealing with gyms that have 100, 200, 300 members that have no direction. And I think we had 10 members when we moved out of and I was talking with a member about this yesterday. When we moved out of our garage, we had 10 members. And when we approached you, we were like, we want to be proactive. Like, we want to do this now for the future, rather than have the 200 members and be losing members every month because it's just a revolving door, that people are not getting the customer service that they want. And so we spent the money up front, having 10 members, and because we knew that in the end, being proactive now, building the website, having Infusionsoft, getting the proper coaching from you, that we knew that in the end was going to lead us to success. So it was the hard work now, and you can relate that to CrossFit, right? Working on the fundamentals now and having the reward later, right? So that's a really good point.
Yeah, it's I think for so many people, especially if you're talking to someone who's smaller or struggling, right, where they don't have excess cash flow, they're like, how can we even afford to do something like this? It's not even in the budget. I can barely pay myself. I mean, I think it's a testament, right, to investing in yourself, when you can do what you guys did, which is you guys were dealing with a shoestring budget, working from home, you were still working a ton with the paramedics, and you were out and about constantly. So we were super limited on time resources as well. But you guys figured out how to make it happen, and look at what it did for your dream, right? It created the breakthrough out of your home, and you guys are now, I mean, up and running and absolutely kicking butt.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good.
Awesome. So now, what would you say is the number one thing that's helped you see the success that you guys are experiencing now?
Once again, I think it's been the help of Infusionsoft has been really helpful for us. Just the building the website and having the ability to have the team whenever we want. Like, honestly, I can email the team like right now, and somebody will email me back right away, make changes to my website or to our website whenever we need to, and just having it sort of display what our core values are, I think has been really, really big for us, and I think that's what's really allowed us to be really successful.
Yeah. I mean, I think together, taking it from what you guys had in place prior to what we were able to build for you guys, it was a huge stepping stone for you guys, I think, in professionalizing the image and the brand and telling your story, right? Because at the end of the day, that's the purpose. The site is there to meet people where they are and to be able to effectively communicate your story in a way that they go, I'm interested, let's do something about it. And I think it's doing that pretty nicely for you guys. So where are we today? So here we are now, about a year, little less than a year after you guys completed the program, right? Maybe about 10 months after you guys completed the program. Where are we today with the business?
We're doing good. We're at about 65 or maybe 70 members, and we're still going strong, and we're still kind of building that foundation that we want, and we're rocking along, and we've started doing some great things, and it's the open right now, and so it's been a busy 4 weeks. So we got one more week left, and so I think we had about 25 members sign up for the open, which is like pretty awesome considering we have about 70 of them, right? So we have a ton of buy-in from our membership, and it's really cool, and that all of that client perceived value stuff that you and I worked on has been really, really helpful, and we're growing, and we've continued our proactive qualities that Nicole and I have, and we're always looking ahead, and we're always trying to grow and see what we can do. And I mean, we know we're making mistakes, we just don't know which ones yet, and we're just you know what I mean, and that's fine. We don't want to be where we are now 5 years from now. We want to continuously be evolving and growing. So. Of
course. Now, I got a text message from you, a little over a week ago, and you're starting to send me pictures of bigger facilities because you guys are starting to outgrow your current spot a little bit and starting to look around at what may be next. So what's next for CrossFit FNA?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think we would be doing our members a disservice if we weren't, constantly looking ahead, and we've seen some pretty substantial growth. I mean, we moved into our current location in April of last year, so we're coming up on a year. We had a couple slow few months, and then over the summertime, we just took off, like adding almost 10 members every month. And our churn was pretty high, probably about 95, 96%. So we were retaining a lot of them. And so we're always looking ahead. We're always looking at spaces, and we're always looking to see what's in the area. And I think eventually, we definitely would like to move into our own space and call somewhere home.
What was your biggest takeaway from going through the Foundations program?
I think it was learning what we didn't know. I think we had a good product. I think coaching wise, I think I knew what I was doing, and I was getting some buy-in from 10 members, coming to my garage and hanging out and working out. But we didn't know how to do the client, the perceived value stuff. Like, how do we run events, or what events should we be running? When should we be buying equipment? When should we be doing this, or when should we be reevaluating people's goals? And when, all of those things, we just didn't know how to do and or how much to charge, or are we charging too much? Are we charging too little? And so I think it was the biggest thing that we took away from the foundations program was just, well, you and I got to hang out for 6 weeks, which was pretty cool. And you got some maple syrup out of it, which I thought was awesome. But,
yes, I did. We went through that literally in one sitting.
That's good. That's good. But it was just learning a little bit more about myself and learning a bit more about our potential. And I think that you provided us with the hope that we could do it, and you showed us the map. But once again, you couldn't do it for us, right? And I know you said you've done 75 of these, but I'm sure you tell everybody the same thing. Like, I can't do it for you. You have to go out there and do it yourself. I can help you and guide you. And I think that was the biggest thing, is that we felt confident moving into our space that we were going to be successful because we had a strong foundation.
Awesome, man. Love it. What would you say to someone who's considering doing the program?
I think you just got to start. I think you just got to reach out and at least, you're always available. I think our first phone call was with Abigail, is that right?
That's
is that
right,
who we talked to at first? Yeah. And so that was free. She was really nice. She wasn't pushy. And it's just like, you just got to start. You just got to reach out to somebody and at least get some information. And then from there, you can make an educated decision as to whether or not you feel like it's enough risk for you to take on. And I think once we started talking to you, once again, you were like, yeah, we can do this. Like, this is where you guys could be in a year from now if you work your butt off. And we knew that nobody was going to outwork us, like, and that's never going to happen. Like, nobody will ever outwork us. And so we were like, okay, let's do it. So just start. You just got to start. I
love that, man. Yeah. It's a nice feeling when, I'm willing to do the work. Just show me what to do.
Yeah, and that's for me. I'm just a bull in a shop. I'm just like, yeah, show me how to get to point B, and I'll get there. You know what I mean? And that's
100%.
What we've been doing. So,
well, you guys have done a phenomenal job, and hats off to both you and Nicole. I know I've only got you on today, but Nicole is a force to be reckoned with, and as a partner in crime for you. And that's with 2 little kids. You guys had a brand new baby right when you were opening up the facility. Yeah. Or transitioning into the facility, which is, if you don't have kids, you don't know how intense, what level of intensity that brings to it. But you guys did it, and you guys did it with style, and you guys are doing a phenomenal job with your business. And I'm excited for everything that's ahead for you guys, man. You guys have nothing but positivity ahead of you, and I can see us having you back on here in maybe another year from now, and maybe you can do a screen pan of your awesome new facility.
Yeah, and I mean, like, shout out to Nicole for sure. Like, I'm going to steal 30 seconds, but like, when we opened our garage gym, so that was October 2016. My daughter had just been born when we moved in, where we did the whole garage thing. And then when my son was born, that's when we moved into our bigger facility. Like, the next month after we had moved in, he was born. And so now, we have 2 kids, and like, Nicole does all of our accounting and business side of things. Like, she rocks our newsletter every month.
Yep.
She's incredible, man. Like, she's a rock, and she supports me, which is nice because I'm at the gym at 5 a.m. every day, and I don't get home until 7:30 at night. So, and she supports me through that. And so it's really, really cool to see how I do my thing and she does her thing, and we meet somewhere in the middle. And so, yeah, she's pretty awesome. So
awesome. Well, you're lucky to have her in your corner. And again, you guys are doing great things. I'm proud of you guys.
Thanks, dude.
Now, in one sentence, what's one piece of advice you'd like to give other gym owners listening or watching?
Man, that's a hard question. I think you constantly have to look at what your core values are. And I think for us, when we first started, we had like a ton of core values. And I think it's really important to just sit down with yourself and like, what are your core values? And for us, we narrowed it down to, humble, hungry, happy. And we made it simple. And sometimes just keep things simple, and you're going to move in the right direction. And a mistake's only a mistake if you don't learn from it. So just keep grinding. You just got to keep grinding. That's all.
Love it, man. Great advice. Well, Michael, thank you very much for being on today. Thanks for sharing your story. You guys are rocking it. You guys, like I said, have nothing but bright blue ocean ahead of you guys. Lots of opportunities. So keep doing what you're doing, man.
We will.
Awesome. All right. And where can people find more about you and Nicole and FNA?
Yeah, so CrossFitFNA.com obviously is our website, and then our Instagram. I do my weekly videos, which is something pretty cool that I try to do to give back to the community. So you guys can obviously find me or find us on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. So we're always there. We're around.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, thanks again for being on the show today, Michael. Pleasure having you on, and we'll look forward to having you on again maybe sometime next year or later this year when you guys have gone through your next evolution.
Yeah, anytime, man. I'm pretty honored. I think I remember when I finished the foundations program, I was like, hey, maybe I can be on your show someday. And I kind of said that as a joke, but I honestly, I really meant that, but I didn't think it was going to be this soon. So it was pretty cool when you texted me and you said, hey, do you want to be on the show? And I was like, oh, very funny. And then you were like, no, seriously. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So
right
yeah,
on.
I thought that was pretty cool. I was pretty honored. So thank you for that.
Awesome, man. Well, an honor to be a part of your journey in helping you build your business, man. Awesome. So I also want to thank all of you motivated gym owners out there for joining us today as well. And again, if you are interested in the Foundations program, check out gymwright.com/foundations-program. Or if you'd like to join our private Facebook group, just type the word join into the comments below. It'll give you immediate access. And other than that, if you'd like to watch the show live, you can join this conversation every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time right here on the Gymwright Facebook page. Thanks again for all your support. Now get out there and build something that matters. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.